guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The following is a paid program, and the host is solely responsible for its content. Opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of KVOI or its sponsors.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Eye on the Ball. I'm Steve Rivera alongside Jay Gonzales, and you're listening to 1030 The Voice. Welcome to Thursday's show. Jay, we have one basketball season on the brink, but we're likely to come back, and we might even get college basketball sooner than we thought.
We might. There's a lot of discussion about how maybe the Pac-12 jumped the gun by saying no basketball till January. The NCAA word is out that they may start the season as early as November 25th and maybe December 4th, that kind of a time frame. And I'm starting to hear mumblings about maybe the Pac-12 walking back their decision and going ahead and starting when everybody else does.
That would make a lot of people happy, including you, if they call you back to help with the stats.
Well, yeah, I mean, that I'd love to be able to go back and do that. It's going to have to figure out, how are they going to run the games?
Do it, right.
Will there be fans? Because I noticed these things. I saw, for instance, at the NBA games, the scoring table with the scorekeepers, all that stuff. They're behind glass.
Well, we are right now.
Right,
yeah.
They're separated from the court. Is that something that would have to be done at, say, McHale? And if that's done, then do I,
You can just take these ones right in front of you.
Do we as a stat crew still get to operate? So, again, everybody on that crew is at risk because we're old.
Older.
But,
but if they do walk it back, is it an omission of something?
Look, you know what? Through all of this, I think people are going to have to be swallowing their pride on a lot of stuff. And you don't, just say, look, and they could always hang it on. Look, things have happened that allow us to maybe reconsider. And, there's a lot of stuff happening with testing and that kind of stuff. So I think you could just say, we base that decision on what we knew then, and it's different now.
Well, wouldn't you rather be the guy who errs on the side of caution to begin with?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with saying, look, this is what it looks like now. Let's do this. And then say, well, the way the COVID stuff has changed day to day, you can certainly come back out and say, look, we've got better testing. We've got better ways to do this. Let's take advantage of that and reconsider.
Well, exactly we're in the situation now. The numbers are better, improving,
right.
But we're also opening it up again.
Right.
So talk to me in 2 weeks.
Right. And exactly. I mean, we may get to a point where you in 2 weeks you may say,
what the heck did we just do?
This is not happening.
Right.
I mean, we're still getting a lot of news from the campuses that things aren't going well. University of South Carolina reported that they had 190 tests one day, and the next day positive cases one day, and the next day it doubled to 380. So there's still bad news coming out of these campuses. 2 more opening college football games have been postponed. A lot of that stuff's still going in the wrong direction, and maybe what that's saying is that right now is too soon. Right now may be too soon. But maybe November is not too soon.
Yeah, but what that word maybe means, we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know. But again, there's a lot of stuff happening as it relates to this. So let's see.
I still am going to hold to my prediction that there'll be football and then no football. You're saying if there's football, there's going to be football.
No, I'm saying, I think they're going to try like hell to keep the football going. But there's going to come a time. I think there's going to come a time when it's just going to be so bad. Games are going to keep getting postponed and stuff like this to the point where you just don't have a season.
Well, my lawyer will talk to your lawyer and we'll get the wording correctly or consistent. Because I agree with you. They're going to try as much as they can to make sure it goes, just to prove a point and to play, of course. Right. But if they can't, they can't.
I mean, again, Texas Tech the other day had 21 cases.
On the team.
How are you going to play a game if you got 21 guys?
Right.
Now, okay, that's the game you postpone. But now, you go into the next week, and how long before those 21 guys are available to play? How many games are postponed because of that? And what do you do?
Sure.
Oklahoma had a similar situation. LSU did too. These teams are all having what we're seeing is outbreaks within position groups because those position groups work together. Now they're doing a good job of separating the others, but at some point they've all got to work together.
But how is that happening if you're pretty much quarantined as a team?
I don't know.
It's weird. Well, this whole thing's been weird.
Well, we just saw this thing that came out at the U of A today
Right.
that in a dorm, they were able to detect that there was something going on in a dorm, and they figured out that there were two people who had positive. They had tested all the dorm, nobody had positive tests. They've got ways that they're figuring this out.
Well, it's in the feces. I think you can see that, right?
It's in the feces. No,
Yeah,
they were checking wastewater.
Right, wastewater, right.
And they determined that the wastewater from this dorm had some COVID in it.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go into
we're not
what
doctors.
we know about that, but they were able to determine that there probably was a source of COVID in the dorm. So they went and checked everybody again, and there were two students who had it, and they did some contact tracing. It's kind of like between the test and this day, these two students had gone and got it from somewhere. What they were able to do with that, isolate those two, and they've tested everybody. Those were the only two that had it,
Right.
and they basically avoided an outbreak in the dorm by isolating these two. If you can do stuff, but stuff like that is so intensive, work intensive, expensive, all those things. But that's one of the things that U of A is doing. They're testing wastewater to see if there's sources of COVID, and that's coming from something that was done in other countries to kind of head this stuff off.
But Arizona has been getting some praise about their proactive approach to this, which is great. They have it.
But again, how much of that can you do? They're doing this. They're doing this to kind of protect the student body as a whole.
Yeah.
If we're talking about additional testing and stuff like that, what priority do you put on college football teams versus at-risk people out in the general community?
Right. In fact, somebody just texted me. They know some people in that dorm that they weren't the positive test, but they were in that dorm.
Right.
And then how many kids in the dorm? A few hundred?
A couple hundred, or maybe 150, 200. Who knows? It just depends on
the dorm.
on that particular dorm.
Let's talk about today's show real quick. We're going to have Mr. and Mrs. Guy.
Yeah, Kevin and Cathy Guy are coming on to talk about Sugar Skulls Indoor Football League. The Indoor Football League had a big announcement a couple of days ago. I just saw a social media post that the Sugar Skulls are signing players again. And so, stuff going on. And, the Sugar Skulls have been kind of quiet, since the season got canceled way back in April or May. And so, they're going to start gearing up. It's time to start doing that. It's getting close to September, and that's when you start getting ready for the next season.
In full disclosure, you were the president of the team back in the day. I'm going to ask Kevin this directly. He was on the show about mid-April, May, when about a week before everything hit the fan. He didn't see it coming. Obviously, you guys didn't know this was going to happen.
Well, I can just tell you from my experience, everybody was hoping against hope that they were still going to play the season. They were willing to start that season as late as the end of May. And then it just got to a point where they realized, like the Pac-12 did, they realized this isn't happening.
And they made the right choice.
They made the right call.
It never
would have canceled
happened.
the season. You can talk to Kevin and Cathy, but they'll tell you that everybody's trying to figure out a way to make this work. Thought it could, but under the circumstances where none of them have their own arenas and stuff like that, a lot of stuff was out of their control.
Right. How it would have happened had they played? Who's cleaning the facilities? Like the city?
Yeah, I mean, the Sugar Skulls facility is the TCC. It belongs to the TCC. Our office was down at Keno Stadium. It got to the point where we couldn't go to the office anymore because Pima County said we couldn't go to the office.
Okay. That was not your place. You were just renting it from them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, whether it was clean or not, that was up to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
And that's pretty much how all of the franchises, they don't own their arenas. So they have to rely on somebody else to tell them what they can and can't do.
Let's take the break, come back with the guys here on 1030 The Voice.
Trust trusted local news and talk all day, every day. 1030 The Voice.
There's a place in our house.
For 70 years, Benjamin Supply has been keeping Tucson flowing. Hygiene is our business. We help you achieve extreme clean. Minimize germ spreading with a hands-free sensor faucet. Forget the paper panic with a washlet seat. And speaking of waterworks, a big thanks to plumbers for their essential efforts during this health crisis. Shop our downtown showroom by appointment. Call us at 777-7000 or see all the products online at benjaminsupply.com.
Thanks to Benjamin Plumbing Supply.
Camille Rivas Rutherford with Coldwell Banker Realty has been one of the top producing real estate agents in Tucson, Oro Valley, Marana, and Vail for more than 20 years. Let her help you find your dream home in southern Arizona. Her passion and enthusiasm for real estate has helped her become one of the most respected and trusted realtors in the area. And she was recently named a recipient of Coldwell Banker's 2019 International President's Circle Award. Camille's approach to sales and marketing and selling or buying a home is second to none. Give her a call at 520-250-5192.
1030 The Voice is committed to supporting our local businesses. Many are struggling. We want to help them get the word out that they're still open and ready to serve you. Go to kvoi.com, click on the Stay Tucson Strong page, where you can find a link to support our business partners. You can make your dollar count by buying from local businesses and in return, help them keep their workers employed. Find out more at kvoi.com. Together, we can stay Tucson strong with 1030 The Voice.
This is The Voice, 1030, Tucson's trusted news and talk.
Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera alongside co-host Jay Gonzales. And now on the phone we have Cathy and Kevin Guy, owners of the Sugar Skulls. Great to have you together, guys. How are you?
Doing great. How you doing, Steve?
We're good, thanks.
Great to have you. We also have a guy that you guys got to know a little about.
I'm here.
It's like a kumbaya reunion.
Yes.
I'm here, and I
That's
promise.
our guy, Jay.
I told Steve, don't say anything bad about these guys, okay? They're good guys.
Literally. Hey, glad to have you. And Jay was just saying that you guys are already getting ready for next season.
You know, we are. When the league decided to cancel for the season, we immediately, started trying to prepare for next year. And just like, a lot of the companies around the country, our league, our organization was affected by COVID-19, and everybody just kind of went into survivor mode, and really, going into this year, that's the mindset is, we're going to have to get through 2021, but we started preparing, right away and trying to make decisions to set ourselves up to be, successful, and it's unfortunate because I know, Jay was our team president, and Jay and I was going around, every day, selling sponsorships and creating partnerships, and we really felt like, and Jay can speak on this too, we really felt like we had a lot of momentum going into the season when COVID, shut us down. We were really excited about the season. We had a big hire. Cathy hired Dixie Wooten as our head coach in the off season. We brought Jay in as our team president, and Jay did a great job of getting us structured, organized, and then we went around, creating these partnerships around town with our sponsorships, and it was just very frustrating to see it shut down the way it did, and me personally, I had to take about a month off. I was just so upset, because of all the work we put in the off season, and but there was a lot of things that were out of our control. When they shut down the venue, we couldn't play. I mean, the league was trying to play. We were trying to play. We actually postponed the season at one point, and then when we saw that it just wasn't going to happen, we said, hey, let's make the right business decision here, so we can start getting ready for 2021.
So, Kevin, you guys have been busy. So there was a big announcement on Tuesday. There's another team in Arizona. You've added a couple other teams. So tell us a little bit about what's been going on regarding expansion, and how did the Prescott thing come about?
Well, with everything being shut down, we obviously had some time on our hands. So kind of crazy. I mean, there was a lot of interest. We had over 12 applications put in for expansion at the league level. And, we started doing our due diligence and having conversations. So we kind of started focusing on building the league and having a conversation. We announced Massachusetts 2 weeks ago, and then just a couple of days ago, we announced Northern Arizona, which is going to be up in Prescott Valley. The ownership group, led by Trey Medlock, he was looking at a couple of California markets. He was looking at Colorado Springs. And then the news broke that the G League team, the Suns G League team, was moving out of Prescott Valley and moving back down to Phoenix. And when the news broke, it was all in the media. So, I kind of gave him a call and said, hey, there's an arena that just opened up. Of course, I was trying to protect Tucson and Arizona with travel. So I was like, hey, let's get them down here and look at this arena. And so he flew in and had the conversations and came out with a great lease, which I helped him negotiate that lease. I actually negotiated it, and then I told the building that I'll let you know who the ownership group is once we get a deal in place that works for the business. And so we got the lease done, and then from there it moved pretty fast. So Trey did try to come in last year. He was looking at putting a team in El Paso, and I was kind of involved with that. So I've known Trey for about 15, 20 years, and so we just kind of stayed in touch, and so I just told him, hey, Prescott Valley is a lot closer than El Paso, and really Arizona, the state of Arizona, has kind of become the gateway of the indoor football league to the West. And we're getting ready to announce possibly 2 more teams here in the next week or two, and and they're definitely going to fit into our geographically for travel as well. So obviously travel is a big line item on the budget, and so I think it's good. It protects. We're building we're building teams around Tucson, around Phoenix, and it's going to help both organizations out with the travel.
You guys know you don't have to wait 2 weeks. You guys just break the news right now. That's fine.
Adia Barnes came on our show and told us she was having a kid. So, news does break on our thing.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, there was some things that leaked on an owner's call last week. So our commissioner made us sign
non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure.
Well,
yeah.
I was going to go there with you guys. I'm sure you guys have a non-disclosure within the family. I'd like to hear, Cathy, you have anything brewing on that team? Well, Kevin, I can't talk about it. But that quarterback out of that Iowa is pretty good. I'm sure that's.
No, that's right. We don't talk about that. Because he doesn't need to know.
That's right.
You guys. I know Kevin's a competitor. Cathy, I'm sure you are too, and it probably makes a little fun, but a little angst.
Mm-hmm. Well, you kind of have to be in this family, just because Kevin's competitive about everything. I mean, not just football; it's just everything. So of course our kids are like that too. Like they're always arguing over stupid things. Because one's better than the other. So you have to be in this family. So yes, we are very competitive.
Well, I found out that Jay is just as competitive as I am, because I know when we got told no on a sponsorship by a company, he would be just as upset as I was.
I'm still mad at some of those. So Cathy, I just saw on social media there's 3 players signed. So how's the player thing going? Were all the contracts over with because the season didn't happen? Now, does everybody have to go sign everybody all over again?
Yes. So once we cancel the 2020 season, it's like we're start working towards 2021. So yes, every player has to be re-signed for 2021.
So these 3 guys that are signed, I recognize 2 of the names. I don't know if Marquise Irvin was on the roster last year, but are those the first 3 signees? I haven't been checking.
We've signed 10 so far.
Okay, missed them.
It's just taken some time because our office is still closed. We're
Right.
In Tucson, so it's just taken time to make the announcements and just get things ready to go.
Before the season started, you were on the verge of starting, maybe a week or two away. How did you like that roster going in? Pretty confident, new coach, a lot of hope, things like that?
Oh, yes. And, and I stick to the business side because, I know a lot about football just because of being around Kevin, but, that's not my expertise. So that's why we hired a coach that will handle all those things, and he knows that our goal is to win, and that's his job. To put a team together that we'll get to we'll make it to the last game of the season.
Well, I can tell you that from my experience of being on the coaching side, looking at all the teams' rosters, I definitely felt like Tucson was in the top 4. And, you know how that goes. As the season plays out, you got to have a little luck on your side with injuries, and you got to go out and execute. And, felt like that we had a chance. And, I felt like Dixie did a really good job of recruiting this off season. And that was one that when Cathy, had the conversation with me about hiring them, I was like, hey, it runs through the desert anyway, through Phoenix. So you need to bring somebody in that can compete with us and beat us on, have a chance to beat us. And I mean, it's about winning a championship. If you're not, our whole philosophy was we got to give Tucson an opportunity to win a championship. And Dixie certainly brings that to the table.
So, guys, we do want to talk to you guys after the break a lot more about the Sugar Skulls, but I want to circle back to the league. Now, Kevin, Massachusetts has come into the league from the National Arena League. Now, you were talking a minute ago about travel. That's pretty far out there. I mean, how's that going to work? And then you've also got Columbus in there. So, tell us a little bit more about the structure of the league. Are you guys, 16 teams now? Are you going to divide into divisions? Some of that stuff.
Well, yeah, we're at 16 teams. Right now, we're going to stay as one and still take the top, 8 teams. That's still up in the air, having discussions on how we're going to do the playoffs. But, looking at – and we don't – we're at 16 teams right now. We still don't know how COVID's going to affect us this coming year. So, we're having to take it case by case because every market's different, every state's different. So we're going to have to look at that and see who it's going to affect. But that's why we decided to go ahead and bring on some new teams. But as far as Massachusetts goes, we made a decision that we were, committed to building our league to the west. We wanted to be able to go coast to coast. And so you got to get the first one. It was kind of like bringing, when we jumped in as Phoenix in the west, we were the first team in the west, and then we brought Tucson in, and then look what happened. San Diego's popped up. Oakland, Spokane, Albuquerque. So the West grew pretty fast, and we're going with with the same line of thinking. We're going to get Massachusetts, we negotiated a travel subsidy in there for all the other teams to come to Massachusetts the first year, and then while they're playing that first year, we will work on putting some teams in the Northeast. Columbus was going to play this year. Their ownership, the Germain family owns Columbus, Ohio, and Frisco, Texas. So their intent was never to start 2 teams in the same year. So they decided since we didn't play this year, they're still going to start Frisco this year in 2021, and they moved Columbus back a year to 2022. And Columbus is going to be a great market, but it still fits, in the travel for Massachusetts as well, and that's going to help us develop the East.
Yeah, guys, we're going to take the break now and come back on the other side. We have about 30 seconds left. Did you have something to say?
I was just saying real quick, when are you going to get the TV contract?
Well, I just heard today we're working on a TV contract, and we'll hopefully we'll have some good news on that here pretty soon as well. A national TV contract. Yeah,
we got to get you're on the field. We got to get your mug on TV. Yeah, we need to take a break, and then let's come back and we'll talk a whole lot more about the Sugar Skulls.
CBS News at the top and bottom of every hour. 1030 The Voice, Tucson's trusted local news and talk.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Wall Street ran into resistance as it worked to extend its recent gains. The Nasdaq fell for the first time in over a week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 160, the S&P 500 added 6, the Nasdaq lost 40. Rising demand for PCs from remote workers and students boosted HP's quarterly results. Sales beat estimates by over $1 billion, while earnings also topped forecasts. Commercial printing cratered with corporate offices empty. It was a similar story at Dell, where quarterly results beat estimates in a sign of strong PC demand. Revenue for Dell's consumer devices jumped 18%. Corporate demand for Dell's data center hardware declined. Gap weathered the pandemic storm during the second quarter as sales fell less than expected, 18% versus a year ago. Same-store sales for the days that stores were open were up 13% from last year. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Radio.
CBS News Special Report. More testimonials for a Trump second term on the final night of the GOP convention. Dana White with the mixed martial arts organization Ultimate Fighting Championship.
He is one of the most loyal human beings I have ever met. The man has unstoppable energy. No one, and I mean no one, is going to outwork this guy. But most importantly, he truly loves and believes in our country.
President Trump will deliver his acceptance speech from the White House. Political analyst Leonard Steinhorn.
President Trump will portray himself as an incumbent who has done great things, but also as an outsider who will continue to fight against the establishment and get things done.
New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew blasted the competition ahead.
Joe Biden is being told what to do by the radicals running my former party, the same radicals trying to install him as their puppet president.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Pam Coulter.
Go local. Make the switch. At Hughes Federal Credit Union, we offer customized solutions and get you what you need faster. Like our quick and easy credit cards and auto loans. All done online from start to finish. Save time using mobile banking, bill pay, mobile deposit, and mobile pay with just a few clicks. Live large, accessing 30,000 plus surcharge-free ATMs and free debit card choices. Make the switch to Hughes today. Visit hughesfcu.org/switch. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
These days, most families are concerned with having the right insurance coverage. Protecting your family, home, auto, and other valuable possessions can be challenging and sometimes expensive. Crest Insurance gives you flexible options and solutions while saving you money. Insurance is not one size fits all, and at Crest, we find the coverage that's best for you and your family. Visit us online at www.crestins.com or call us toll free at 888-881-5765.
Tucson's Hispanic Voices, bringing diversity into the conversation. We'll talk local politics while fostering a culture of respect and understanding. Plus, we'll share stories of music, food, art, and culture. Tune in Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 on KVOI 1030 The Voice. Tucson's Hispanic Voices, sponsored by MPG Automotive, HT Metals, the Law Office of Natalie H. Haywood, and music by Gabriel F. Romo.
Tucson's source for trusted news and talk. 1030 The Voice.
Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera with Jay Gonzales, and on the phone we have Cathy and Kevin Guy, owners of the Sugar Skulls. I wanted to ask you guys, how have you guys, league-wide and owner-wise, been able to succeed where other minor league football teams have not?
I would say that it you contribute that to the business model, and being in this since I was 23 years old. I'm 47 now. I'm ashamed to admit, but I've been in it a long time, and you see these leagues that pop up, and they always want to overpay, the players, and there's a lot of other things that go into that, but they come out with these big salaries, and you have college football, you have the NFL, and then you have these other minor leagues pop up. We found our niche in the indoor game. That's our brand. Our brand's indoor, And when it's hot outside in the summertime, people want to come inside and listen to music and have a cold drink and watch the game. It's fast paced. It's up and down the field, and there's a lot of excitement in the building. But I think a lot of these leagues make the mistake of trying to get too big too fast, and they come in with big budgets, and they don't have the support for that from a season ticket sponsorship sales. These leagues don't have national TV contracts like the NFL has, and major Power 5 conferences have that pay them big dollars. And so you rely on your season ticket holders, you rely on your sponsorships, your community support, and that's why it's so important that each team, is involved in their community and gives back to their community, because it's truly a community team. And and that's where they get in trouble. And there's always somebody out there that thinks they can compete with the bottom half of the NFL roster if they could create this spring league that compete, and they just don't have a clue, about the numbers and what it really. It's hard enough to run a team. I mean, Jay knows this now. He's got some experience at it. It's much harder to run a whole league.
So, Cathy, tell us a little bit about, what are the things going on, with the Sugar Skulls now to start getting ready for the season? I mean, the schedule is that, after the first season, the season ended, or, in July, everybody kind of like gathered themselves, and then the balls got rolling with everything in August and September. So what are you guys doing right now to get ready for next season? I saw Dixie's out there signing players, but what's going on with your organization? What are you guys doing?
Well, we're trying to, interact with our fans on social media, and we are going to be rolling out a new ticket structure, a pricing structure, and we're looking to do that probably around the October timeframe. The city is slowly, starting to reopen, and we want to be able to be an affordable entertainment option for people. Just because, a lot of people have lost their jobs, other businesses, may not reopen. And, we want to be a part of the Tucson community. So whatever that takes. So a lot of what we've been doing right now is planning. It's been a lot of a big planning process of how we want to move forward. And once we do have a schedule, which the league is looking to have something for us probably by the end of September, beginning of October. And we'll definitely start rolling all that information out once we get it.
Jay's been here. He's a native of Tucson. Everyone knows that. You guys have been in the market near over a year now. What did you notice about the market itself?
Well, Tucson to me, what really, because we don't live in Phoenix, we live in Gilbert. We tell everybody that's North Tucson, but our daughter, we started her freshman year at U of A last week. Cathy and I drove her down and dropped her off. But the one thing that's jumped out, but I was living there in the off season. We have a place in Tucson that I stayed at throughout the off season and was going in the office and working with Jay every day. But it's the community. It's a lot. The community is a lot tighter than it is in Phoenix. People are more willing to help one another. And, so that's probably the biggest thing that jumped out to me. It reminded me of my hometown, in Alabama, everybody was just close to everybody knows everybody. And it's a community driven, town. And I was really amazed at how many people bend over to help other people and other organizations. So everybody can be successful, and we really appreciate the support that we got the first year, in Tucson. I thought that we really built a good foundation, and like I said, we had a lot of momentum going into that second year, and unfortunately, the invisible enemy showed up with COVID, and now we're planning for next year, so we'll get it going, and. We're going to wrap things up, but, we need the market to open back up. And, obviously, the mayor's been in the press, several times saying we're all in this together. And we certainly missed a whole season of revenue. We had a whole off season of expenses, but we missed a whole season of revenue. and and we hope that the community is still going to come out and support us, and I know they will. I think we got a great product, but we're going to need some help ourselves, and we're going to have some tough conversations as we get closer.
So is the expectation, because look, we all know that when things started getting canceled in March and April, we thought by this time in August, September that things were going to kind of be maybe not back to normal, but that we weren't going to be sitting here canceling football seasons and stuff. So is the expectation that when March rolls around, arenas are going to be, you're going to be able to have arenas to capacity? I mean, what are you guys planning on? What's it look like right now, or is it still too early to tell?
Well, I don't think that, we're not going to play a season without our fans. I mean, this nonsense about people talking about playing games with no fans in the stands. I mean, there will be no indoor football league bubble. I can tell you that. We don't. Again, we don't have national TV dollars coming in, so we depend on our ticket sales and our sponsorship sales. So, so that's kind of where our focus is. But we are moving forward. We have a lot of pro business owners in our league, and that's why we're partners. I mean, organizations are coming together and working together to try to come out of this. In some very unique ways. And, our plan is to kick off by late March. And, we're hoping that there's going to be a vaccine by then. And, then the question is going to be who's going to be first in line to get it, right? So, we're really hoping that the city venues will be open by then and going. If they're not, then, we would probably start the same approach that we did last year, starting by trying to move the season back and seeing if buying us some time a little more. But, at some point you would have to make a decision like we did this past year. But every owner in this league is fully committed to moving forward. Everybody's turned in their league affiliation agreements for this coming year and is committed to playing. But the venues are going to dictate a lot because we don't own the venues. I mean, our home is Keno Sports Complex is where we work every day. We come into the Tucson Arena at the TCC. We're kind of like a concert. We come in and rent the venue for the day, and we put on our game, and then we're back to work at the practice facility. So that's kind of how we operate.
So I was noticing a Facebook memory. It had to be earlier this week or maybe late last week. I'm sure it's this week, where it's been 2 years. You just made the announcement 2 years. You guys talking about starting a team down here over some margaritas, yada, yada. Does it seem like 2 years?
No. I mean, it's been, it has been 2 years since we had the very first press conference where we announced that a team was coming to Tucson. So that was 2 years ago. But there was probably like another whole year before that we started working on getting the team down there. So it's really been 3 years for us. So yes, and as it stands right now, I mean, we're moving forward with the season in 2021. Obviously, there's still some things that are up in the air, and some of those things are out of our control. But we are moving forward like we're having a season. So, I mean, we have new teams coming into the league. We have an 16-game season planned for 2021, which we only, normally we play a 14-game season. So we're trying to build a lot of excitement, and we're hoping that by March there'll be, like Kevin said, either a vaccine or that we realize that there's less ways to get infected with the coronavirus. I mean, as long as people are following all of the CDC protocols, washing their hands and wearing a mask, those kinds of things. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Well, again, we all want this to happen. I had so much fun in that first season, and I, for the most part, was having fun going out with Kevin every day, I guess. but look, we all want to see this happen. It was a lot of fun, and it was good for Tucson. So we're, obviously hoping for the best. So, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and, let's do this some more as this thing gets closer, and, let's keep in touch, and, let's get the season going, and hopefully have a whole heck of a lot of fun next spring.
Yeah. Well, Steve, you asked me about the support, and I will tell you, 94% of our season ticket holders rolled their tickets over to the following season, and over 90% of our sponsorships as well. So everybody's committed to the 2021 season, and so we're getting excited about it. We're going to build on what we already have in place, and we're going to put a great product on the field, and let's just hope that COVID doesn't interfere. But we really do appreciate Tucson and their support, and obviously Cathy and I have certainly given back to Tucson as well. So it's a partnership, and we're excited about it. We appreciate you guys as a support here. Jay did a great job for us, and Steve, you've always done a great job covering. So we appreciate you having us on.
Like I said to the sports, just win, baby. They're going to come back. Just win.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Bye.
We'll come back here on 1030 The Voice.
Your source for trusted local news and talk. 1030 The Voice.
Time to update those old kitchen cabinets? Call the Window Depot today. The Window Depot is not only the #1 warehouse for windows and doors, we now have a great selection of kitchen and bath cabinets at Tucson's best prices. The Window Depot is Tucson's top spot for granite and quartz countertops to finish the new kitchen or the replacement of that old worn-out Formica. So call us today at 290-8545 or 622-6430. The Window Depot, windows, doors, granite, and new kitchens.
There's a place in our house.
For 70 years, Benjamin Supply has been keeping Tucson flowing. Hygiene is our business. We help you achieve extreme clean. Minimize germ spreading with a hands-free sensor faucet. Forget the paper panic with a washlet seat. And speaking of waterworks, a big thanks to plumbers for their essential efforts during this health crisis. Shop our downtown showroom by appointment. Call us at 777-7000 or see all the products online at benjaminsupply.com.
Thanks to Benjamin Plumbing Supply.
This is Bill Buckmaster. Coming up Friday, the Friday Focus interview with Pima County Administrator Chuck Huckleberry. Joining me in the conversation, Sarah Garrett-Gasson of the Star, Matt Russell as Weekend Watch on Buckmaster during the noon hour on 1030, Tucson's voice for trusted news talk anywhere in the world live listening, buckmastershow.com.
Trusted local news and talk all day, every day. 1030 The Voice.
Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera alongside co-host Jay Gonzales. That was a lot of fun. It's always good to hear Kevin because he's got that good old boy accent.
He is one of those good old boys, and look, they've really done a good job with the team here, and I don't say that just because I work for them. I mean, again, I got to see it firsthand that they're really committed to this, and they're really committed to doing good stuff in Tucson, and so and the support has been there for them, and I do hope it continues because that, I'm telling you what, those games are a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun, and so it's we really wish the best for them.
Yeah. Hey, we don't talk about politics here very often, thankfully, but over the last couple of days, a lot of teams have canceled their games, practices. I saw that the Cardinals had practiced. Were supposed to practice. They didn't. Where do you stand on this?
You know what? Look, I'm one of those guys who believes that, these guys, whether the NBA, the NFL, Tiger Woods in golf, Muhammad Ali, whoever, they have a platform. And we always hear that word platform. People pay attention to them. Now, I actually think they have a responsibility to try and make good things happen.
So you would not agree with Charles Barkley? I am not a role model.
No, when he said that, I was in complete disagreement with him on that. I love Charles Barkley.
Yeah, I get it.
I think he's hilarious. He's entertaining.
Says what he feels.
He says what he feels. He is who he is. But I did completely disagree with him when he said he's not a role model. Yes, you are, and when you have the ability to impact people just because of who you are, you're a role model whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And so I am in disagreement with him on that. And but I do like that these players that what the NBA did yesterday. And look, in the grand scheme of things, does missing an NBA game mean a lot to us? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But the message, if you're focusing on the message and what these guys are saying, yes, I thought I was in complete agreement with it. I was a little disappointed that the Dodgers didn't play last night, but they played a doubleheader today. I'm in complete agreement with what they're doing.
Right. And if you're going to make a statement, that's their statement to make, because I think the WNBA as a total did not play as well.
I'm hearing people, saying, stick to sports and, keep politics out of sports. Bullcrap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
I hear that often too, and I say the same thing. Maybe not that phrase, but I do.
if you have a platform to make good things happen, then what the hell is wrong with using it to make good things happen?
What they say about keep politics out of this, and I have a lot of friends. We all have a lot of friends who follow sports. Well, I'm never going to watch this again. I'm not going to. Shut up.
Exactly.
I mean, shut up. And I mean that nicely, only because you're watching.
Right.
You're watching.
Stop. Yeah. Shake yourself and realize, look, if you were important enough to be able to make a difference, wouldn't you try to make a difference?
Correct.
Yes, and if you're important enough to make a difference and you don't try to make a difference,
shame on you.
Well, then I got a problem with you.
Shame on you. Yeah. Hey, real quick, I saw that Mark Phelps and Brooke Richardson hooked up on a conference call or a show podcast
right?
Just not too long ago. It was kind of cool. And we all know the history.
Right.
2 ex-UA basketball coaches, assistants under Sean, kind of kumbayaing together.
Yeah. Well, good for Book. I like look, nobody likes what happened with Book Richardson, and nobody likes what he did, and people are blaming him for whatever's going to happen to the U of A going forward with the NCAA. I get it. He made huge mistakes, should have known better. He was making a lot of money. Why was he going after this other, small pot of money? Who knows? Who knows what, what was on his mind when all that stuff was going on? But you know what? He was a good guy before that, and he's somewhere in there. He's still a good guy, and he deserves every chance to rebuild his life.
Yeah, he's got
and
enough.
I really hope he does.
He's got enough of a backing that he'll be fine.
Right. I really hope he gets that opportunity to do that, and I hope people give him a chance. It's not like he was out robbing banks and committing those kinds of crimes. I mean, he's screwed up, and he's trying to fix it. And everybody had, we had Jason Gardner on our show.
Right.
He had a DUI, lost his job, and he's slowly trying to work his way back up, and he's got another coaching gig. Those guys deserve a chance.
Right, and good guys to boot.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know Book. I will tell you this. Book was one of the guys that, when the coaches would go by us. When the coaches would go by us at the scorers table, he would always come by and give us a fist bump.
Really?
And that's the only contact I've ever had with him.
He was like a good dresser too, wasn't he? A fancy dresser.
Oh yeah,
because you guys notice that stuff.
We do notice that stuff.
Yeah.
We do notice that.
Hey,
stuff.
we didn't do this yesterday. Do you want to kind of tease what's coming up?
Well, we threw it out again on social media. We've got a huge announcement coming out tomorrow. We hope everybody will listen in, and we got big news coming up with our show. And this is something that's been in the works for a little bit, and we want to fill everybody in. So we hope everybody will listen tomorrow. We've also got a great show. I mentioned a few minutes ago, women's basketball coach Adia Barnes was on our show, and we blew up social media because when she announced on our show she was having a baby. That baby's going to be born on September 15th. It's scheduled. And so, she's a couple of weeks away, and we're going to have her back on the show with
her husband,
Salvo. So we're going to get the both of them on. It's like couples day here for our show, but they're going to both come on, and it should be an interesting conversation about again, we talked with the guys about their relationship, which is unique in that they own a team. Kevin's the coach of another team, of a rival team. The two of them are they're both coaches, but she's the boss. He's the assistant coach. How's that dynamic working at the house?
Right. It's funny because when she broke the news, she didn't realize she broke the news because she's pretty good on social media. Right. She probably wanted to break her own news.
She probably wanted to do it herself. And I heard through the grapevine, she was kind of like, I'm not so sure I should have done that.
Glad she did.
But she did. So, maybe should we warn her that we're going to try and pull a name out of her tomorrow?
Yeah. Some fancy Italian name or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, their son, I think he's 5 years old, Mateo, who's a character himself. He's a funny little kid, and you see him around the arena at games and stuff like that. There was a really funny scene that showed up on social media when they won the I think it was when they won the women's NIT, and the team was getting a picture taken on the court, and all of a sudden Mateo shows up in the screenshot, and my son Adam comes running into the screenshot, scoops him up, and gets him out of the camera.
Just in time?
Just in time. It was pretty funny.
It was like that kid trying to pick up the bat. Remember at the home plate, and somebody had to go grab him before.
That was Dusty Baker's kid. Dusty Baker's kid ran out to get a bat, and there was a play at the plate, and it was JT Snow, former Arizona guy, who came sliding in.
We gotta get it.
Grabbed the kid by the collar. I saw him as he's one of the analysts for college baseball on Pac-12 Network.
Oh, we got to find him.
We got to find him.
We got to find him. That'd be good.
He was on one of the teams that I covered.
Yeah. So that'd be great. We can reminisce about the good old days like we usually do, and talk about his situation now.
Yeah. But anyways, we do have this big announcement tomorrow, so be sure to listen in, and we'll fill you all in. We're not even going to give you a hint as to what it is.
And Tom doesn't even know.
Even Tom doesn't know.
I don't, but I have a little news of my own, guys.
Oh.
So my hours are changing next week. So this is the last time you and I are going to work together, Steve and Jay and I, and this is the last show because my shift is changing.
Oh, good.
So I just wanted to say thanks. And it's been fun working with you guys. I've appreciated it.
Did anybody bring napkins or Kleenex?
So
I forgot the donuts. I was going to bring some donuts today.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let you slide.
We have like 2 minutes. Have you ever heard of the stupid stuff that you got in Rochester? What was that stuff?
Oh, yeah, the garbage plate.
Have you heard of this?
What is a garbage plate?
Tell her.
That's So a garbage plate is definitely a late night thing, if you know what I'm saying.
After a few drinks.
Yes, after you've been out. But it's a they call it a plate, and so you can get it with either 2 hot dogs or 2 cheeseburgers, and it comprises some combination of hash brown potatoes, macaroni salad, and coleslaw, and they pour this meat sauce all over it that's basically grease and hamburger, like brown ground beef, and it's just amazing.
This stuff.
Oh, it's amazing.
Where do you get
so
that?
So good. At late night joints that are still
open. Is
open.
there like a place here? Can you get them here?
No.
Oh.
It's in Rochester.
No. Yeah, Rochester, New York.
But we talked about this, and people were calling in and saying, yeah, we have that all the time. How would they eat this stuff? It's like a heart attack.
It's so good. Oh, it's so good.
With a fork and a scoop.
I could even, you know how those plates where you have the sections where you...
the styrofoam plates?
Yeah,
guys, I'm the worst at, look, half an hour before I headed over here, I got a bowl of Lay's potato chips and covered it with Red Devil hot sauce.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
It was just one of those.
The way you eat it is with gusto. That's how you eat it.
Exactly. Just
burp.
And you just get it all over your face, and you just kind of scoop it up.
Well, Tom, we'll see you somewhere along the way if you're changing hours.
Yeah. Our paths will cross. Tom.
I just want to know when the golf outing is. You let me know.
We'll set one
up. We might have to do that. I'm horrible.
I hear Steve sucks, so I'm not sure that I want to see that.
I'll try the
I got 2 years of dust on my clubs. It's fine.
I was terrible today, Steve. I threw a club for the first time in about 30 years.
You're crazy to be out there 107 degrees. Hey, thanks, everybody.
And again, head coach Adia Barnes and her husband Salvo tomorrow. Be sure to be here for the big announcement.
Adopt from the Humane Society of Southern Arizona, and you'll save more than one pet. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. Adopting from the Humane Society is different. We have healthy, loving pets in clean facilities,